Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with RwandAir today. RwandAir, the safest airline in Africa. RwandAir.
SME sector, and indeed the upcoming and new entrepreneurs. Our ability to embrace this requires a paradigm shift by big business and systems change generally, a recognition to the role entrepreneurs and small businesses play in shifting the economy. So how can SMEs create shared value? Perhaps you ask. The reality is that SMEs are more agile and can quickly adapt and incorporate paradigm shifts and new systems, whereas larger organizations often struggle to make meaningful change at scale. For an entrepreneur or a small to medium-sized enterprise, it is also easier to get a full picture of their impact. In the case of a large company with an extensive supply chain, it takes time to understand if their sourcing practices are sustainable every step of the way, down to their last contractor or service provider in their value chain. Entrepreneurs and small businesses are also likely to succeed at using business as a force for good, as they can start measuring and managing their impact at inception and then continue to track environmental, social, and governance metrics as they grow. Further, SMEs also have the unique opportunity to engage their entire team in impact awareness and communicate their mission and goals throughout their organization, creating a culture of ownership and accountability amongst employees, which is the essence of creating shared value. The role of business in society inevitably varies across countries based on the unique developmental context in each country. However, what underpins the entire ecosystem is the important role of leadership. It would be remiss of me to finish this conversation without talking about the role of a leader. The leadership is important in driving this change that we seek. We have seen the evolution from a product-driven economic model to a service-based model, and now more than ever, a values-based economic system is demanded. Future generations will demand that conscious leaders are at the helm of companies. Companies big and small will increasingly come under pressure from customers and stakeholders if they don't re-evaluate their leadership and business model. With the rise of populist politics and a post-truth culture, it is critical that business transforms its models to respond to global challenges. The Sustainable Development Goals present an opportunity to do that. Creating shared value is not a short-term pursuit. Safeguarding the next generation of leaders, customers, and community for the future is a long-term interest for all of us. Sustained efforts are essential for businesses, big and small, entrepreneurs, to see the benefits of investing in their purpose and indeed creating shared value. While formalized programs and public commitments made by businesses can provide strong initial foundations, it is essential to invest in continuous improvement and capacity building, as we have heard from the previous panelists, across the entire economic ecosystem, so as to challenge the negatives of the capitalist system. Creating shared value offers businesses a way to think differently about their vision, their strategy, their partners, their products, their services, and implementation, and most importantly, to be part of a larger national, regional, and global systemic solution. But if creating shared value is to fulfill its potential as a relevant new systemic framework, an authentic business goal in reshaping relationships in society, it is the responsibilities of leaders sitting here in the room and online to make it work. Leaders today and leaders of tomorrow will need to make a conscious effort to evolve the capitalist economic systems to create genuine shared value for the long term, thereby creating prosperity for all. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Sazini. Thank you very much, Sazini, for that keynote presentation. I am told Afetsi has taken off some time, is attending to another important call, but we have Simbarashe online from Zimbabwe. Simbarashe, are you?
I'm here.
Simbarashe, let's start the discussion, and then I will bring in the audience after. You have listened to what the keynote presentation speaks to, shared values and a number of other issues, Africa's challenges, the capitalist system that we are involved in today. The topic we are discussing is systems change for economic prosperity, for entrepreneurship growth. Let me start by asking you, what type of economic system do you think best fits Africa, the African situation, which can best change the narrative in Africa and spur economic progress in Africa? In 2 minutes.
Thank you for the floor. I think from my perspective, when I talk about systems change, I wouldn't pinpoint the specific economic system that best fits Africa. I think we should have a system that is suitable for Africa in itself. But where I would sort of dovetail from the first discussion with regards to internal system changes, external system changes, and if I take these two, I would say the internal systems changes that SMEs need to understand that it's not about starting a business, but what is the long-term longevity or survival or prosperity of your business? What sort of ecosystems do you need in order to support your business from year 1 year to fulfill your 20-year plan? And that's a recognition of the social and economic environment that you operate in and what role you play in this regard. So when you think of a product or a service, the health of your business, as I always say, is directly linked to the health of the society that you operate in. You cannot separate the two, because the society or the community that you operate in or the market you operate in are in actual fact your clients. So the health of your business is directly commensurate to that. Also, what sort of supply chains and value chains do you have? If you look in places like Europe, even locally, I've discovered that when people enter a new market, they have their value chains, they have their collaborative models between different businesses that support a specific sector. So if you look at renewable energy, it starts from the legals, it goes on to your EPC suppliers, we have relationships to your component manufacturers. Agriculture is more intrinsic as well, as Zimbabwe is mainly hinged on agriculture, in that what are your value chains? Right down from the bank that finances you to the guys that sell your inputs. We're talking your fertilizer suppliers, your seed suppliers, and then these go then to the actual farmers who produce, goes up to the offtake who buys your product at which quality, and then it goes into the market. Each of these particular steps cannot survive without each other. So when I look at a systems change in SMEs that I've seen locally, is that we tend to operate in silos, right? We believe that we get into business to make money, which is nothing wrong with it. But what then happens that after a few years, either, or even after a year, either the same business is doing something different or the same business has failed because they have not changed. They don't have that mindset of, firstly, how do we affect the market that we operate in? Secondly, which part of the value chain do we operate in, and what is my role as a particular SME? When it talks to the first discussion on education, it's funny. I was having a discussion recently with my friends. I was like, listen, when we were in school, it was when you play sport, it's a collaborative approach. You work as a team to win the game. When you are in class, your teachers teach you math, science, and how to win. Who comes top of the class, who comes bottom of the class. Don't copy each other's homework, work by yourselves. Many years later, the guys that played sport because they learned how to work as a team, those are the guys that are running businesses or running successful enterprises in a collaborative manner. The guys that specialized in class are fighting for promotions. In other words, we are groomed to be managers, not entrepreneurs. So our educational system has to change. Our policies, our external system in terms of policy framework, right now, I can say in Zimbabwe, for example, the Reserve Bank has made ESG and matters to do with SDGs as a central part of the way they measure banks, to the extent that they are now insisting that on every board, you have someone who's a specialist in ESG and as well someone who's a specialist in digital transformation. But in this particular case, we talk to ESG. So the policy framework, particularly in this country, is coming a long way. The Zimbabwe Stock Exchange as well, they're now making ESG reporting central for listed companies as well. So that is coming a long way. But so the question then becomes internally within your business as an SME, as you grow, do you make ESG a central part of your business? Do you understand how you cannot separate your profits from the health of the environment, the society, the communities that you operate in? And do you hire employees that have that mantra as a central part of how they operate and interact with either your suppliers or your particular clients? So for me, a systems change for SMEs starts with an internal approach. In terms of Africa as a whole, there was a speech yesterday at the Security Council that I heard the Kenya representative when I was talking about artificial borders that have been imposed on us. Artificial borders don't necessarily mean economic borders. It's a collaborative approach between an SME in Uganda, an SME in Rwanda, right down to an SME in Zimbabwe. Look beyond your particular markets. For example, shea butter is very popular in Zimbabwe, but extremely difficult to get. So if there's a person that does shea butter in West Africa, there's a market in Zimbabwe. But do we look to those markets for that sort of collaborative approach to sort of break down these barriers, these particular borders that don't talk to that concept of Ubuntu and say, listen, if I can't make it in my own market, or there's too much competition or it's saturated, maybe my product is an important part of a value system elsewhere. Or can I not invite Afechi, my colleague from Ghana, to sort of look at what the economic opportunities are in Uganda? Because the future large companies, the companies that contribute to the GDP, are actually based upon what we do today as the youth. I would say it's practically possible, because if you look at, and I don't mean to divide ourselves by races, if you look at, for example, the old businesses that started in the colonial era, yes, they're capitalist, but they do employ a certain set of shared value amongst themselves. It talks to value chains, right? So I've got an actual example right now whereby a large FMCG company walks into a colleague's office and says, I want to buy you 500 trucks for my business. But in order for you to do this, you're going to need a distribution network across the country. So on the back of my order of 500 trucks, you need to open up more dealerships. That's a shared value model, right? In opening up those dealerships, you're not going to run them yourself. They've agreed that they're going to appoint agents in each location. Thus creating new SMEs in the form of, let's just say, Simba Muriro dealerships or Simba Muriro Motor Company. That's a typical shared value model, right? But do we as youth, or do we as SMEs that operate today look at that model and implement it ourselves? Sometimes sometimes, yes, if we exclude it from the greater capitalist society, maybe we should look internally at ourselves. Do we not exclude ourselves between our peers? How many businesses or SMEs actually collaborate? Right? We may be looking at we may be looking to fight a system that is going to be very difficult to dismantle, not impossible, but difficult. When we should be looking internally and saying, listen, how did that system, which has been around for hundreds or probably thousands of years, worked in Europe, worked in America, worked in Asia, and how do we as Africans start to implement it amongst ourselves as peers, as colleagues, as brothers and sisters? So yes, a capitalist system, exclusionary, I agree. But can we not make the same capitalist system work for us and create our own value systems based upon a new model, which the SVAI chair has alluded to, of shared value?
For now, before I come to the audience, I just wanted to ask you a follow-up question. Something captivating and fundamental that Sazini said is that business can do well by doing good, and she had referred to the aspects of the SDGs. I wanted to find out, is it possible to ensure that the aspects of SDGs, things to do with reducing poverty, taking care of climate change, reducing hunger in the population, is it possible to frame it or to bring it up into business with a mindset that if I take care of this 17 SDGs, that we can actually solve this using private business or entrepreneurship? Is it possible for Africa to do that?
Thank you. I think it's not a question of is it possible, it's a question of we really don't have a choice. So if you look at Africa, in most countries, our economies are buttressed on agriculture. I'm not too sure about what's happening in East and West Africa, but certainly in Zimbabwe, the weather patterns have changed. The rains are coming later and later and later every year. So climate change is not something that is far-fetched into the future. It's happening now. And as long as we don't take care of our climate and our basis agriculture, how do we feed the entire population of agriculture when we can't grow our own food, and we don't take care of water sources, we don't take care of our soil, and we don't take care of our environment? Secondly, when it comes to poverty, there's no point in saying Africa's got X amount of people. Let's, for argument's sake, Africa's got 100 billion people. That represents a market, but that entire market cannot afford to buy your product. So the strength and value, the strength of your business, right, basically lies in you uplifting people from that poverty dentum line and ensuring that your businesses, whether it's in fashion, electricity, automotive, agriculture, has a market of people that have the income to be able to buy your product, thus ensuring the health and sustainability and profitability of your business moving forward. So it's no longer a question of can it or should it. It's now a matter of, if we don't do it, then we don't really have much of a future to talk about. When you look at the grander scheme of things, when you look at the environment as well, the health of your business is directly related to whether or not the earth is going to be is going to be there in its present state of form in the next 10 to 20 years. So I believe it's not that business can, but it's because businesses have to. We don't have much of a choice.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Simbarashi.
By Nation is your go-to website for exclusive content with in-depth stories, analysis, and detailed coverage. Sign up with these quick and easy steps. Visit www.monitor.co.ug. Sign up for free for a limited period of time with either Facebook or Google. Or you can enter your email address, password, followed by your phone number. Click Sign Up. You are now a registered user. Your privacy will be protected when you share information with us. This registration is part of our effort to understand our audiences and make better business decisions to serve you better. For any queries, please contact us on 0312 301 230 or email us at customercareug@ug.nationmedia.com. Monitor, powered by Nation. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to Nobel.
Internet is not only important, but is part of us now. We use it in our studies, at work, home, and while going about our daily errands. However, an inconsistent internet connection is common and can be frustrating. But the good news is, we are here to the rescue. At Rock Telecom, we strive to promote integrity, dependability, innovation, customer service, and open-mindedness. Visit our website www.rocktelecom.co.ug for more information. Rock Telecom. Rock Telecom is licensed by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with Rwandair today. Rwandair, the safest airline in Africa.
Rwandair, fly the dream of Africa.
So we pick travelers, our typical customers are people flying in and out of the country. So we pick those from the airport to wherever they're going and back. And we do this through a network of driver partners for whom we give regular business and improve livelihoods. They can book through WhatsApp, they can call us, they can email us. You know, we just try to make it as simple and convenient, as seamless as possible for our customers.
What is creating shared value all about? CSV is short for Creating Shared Value. It is a powerful business management concept that can promote companies to think differently about their approach to social and environmental issues. It is a strategy for addressing society's challenges through profitable business models. It's all about policies and practices that enhance the competitiveness of companies while improving social and environmental conditions in the regions in which they operate. CSV is not CSR. Creating shared value goes beyond philanthropy or corporate social responsibility.